From listener-supported KTOO, welcome to Juneau Afternoon, broadcasting live from the homelands of the Aquan and on demand as a podcast. It's Wednesday, December 17th, 2025. I'm your host, Boston Christopher. Gunachi, Shawa, Tog, Signusum, Salamat. Thank you for joining the conversation. You can also join us on our live stream over on YouTube at ktoo.org/JPMLive or on KTOO's Instagram and Facebook pages. On the show today, tomorrow night, Thursday, December 18th, at the Crystal Saloon is Holiday Jazz and Classics, a benefit for the upcoming 3rd annual Juneau Jazz Fest. The show features headliners Eddie Barbash and Kyle Thade. We'll chat with them about the show happening tomorrow. The holidays are a great time for giving, and St. Vincent de Paul's Adopt a Family program is one way you can do just that. We talk Adopt a Family plus some extended thrift hours for your holiday shopping needs. Those conversations plus more coming up this hour on Juneau Afternoon. Support for Juneau Afternoon comes from Alaska Airlines Club 49. Membership information available at club49hub.com.
You're listening to KTOO's Tlingit Word of the Week. This week's word comes from Keishi Bessie Cooley. And the word this week is keitladi.
Keitladi.
That means seagull. And here's a sentence.
Keitladi dak kadach kanas hitch yest kuahayi.
The seagulls fly out of the interior when fall arrives. Let's hear it again.
Keitladi.
Seagull. Gunas Chief Chune Lance Twitchell, Goldbelt Heritage Foundation, and the University of Alaska Southeast for this audio.
Keishi Bessie Cooley is Coqueton and a child of a Yenyedi man. She is from Daislin, Teslin. She earned a master's degree in Indigenous Languages and Linguistics from Simon Fraser University and interviewed many speakers for the Hashagun language series.
And tune in next week for another Tlingit Word of the Week from KTOO.
This is Juneau Afternoon from KTOO. Don't forget that this Friday, December 19th, Juneau Afternoon will hold a special holiday episode with you in the audience. We're inviting you to come join us downstairs in the KTOO studio. We'll feature performances. We have Vox Borealis, A Christmas Carol, and more. We'll also talk to some snow science folks about all this weather that we're having. And we'll also have a cool segment called Reason for the Season. No reservation is required. We just ask that you arrive by 2:45 as we're going to go live right at 3 p.m. That's Friday, December 19th. Come celebrate the holidays with your favorite public media station, KTOO. You're listening to community-supported Juneau Afternoon on KTOO at 104.3 Juneau, 91.7 Juneau Ock Bay, and online at ktoo.org. You can also join us on our live stream on KTOO's YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram pages. I'm your host, Boston Christopher. I have in the studio with me now a gentleman by the name of Dr. Tim Quigley Peterson. He has been a long-time doctor here in Juneau, and we're going to be talking about a couple things today, but we're really going to be talking about, and you're going to have to help me pronounce this name quickly because I'm not sure. I'm going to give it a shot. Buprenorphine.
Buprenorphine.
Okay, buprenorphine.
Buprenorphine.
Okay. Great.
Which is generic for Suboxone, which a lot of people have heard of.
Okay, well, welcome to the show. Gwyneth Cheese for being here. I'm really
delighted
excited
to be here. Yeah.
We had Andrew on from CCFR a couple weeks ago, and they were at Public Market, and he teased us with this idea about these programs that are coming up. And so you're here to tell us a little bit about that. So first about you and your work here in Juneau over the years.
Summer of '89, just to fill in for a few months because it was cruise ship season, which was nothing then compared to now.
Yeah.
And just
1.7.
And everybody else who worked there wanted to climb mountains when the weather was good.
Mm-hmm.
And I did that for a while, and I slowly was here more and more. Then I moved here, like a lot of other people.
Oh, wow. Okay. And so what kind of work did you do here?
Emergency medicine. I was, a doctor in the trenches at Bartlett since
Okay.
'89. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. And so there's this new program that is going to be happening. Tell me a little bit about that and how we got here.
Okay. Right. Well, so we have a whole new approach that's been done all over the country on how we can actually engage addicts and get them into treatment. I just throw some numbers at you, because we're really frustrated at the fire department when we go to someone's house and the police or their friends gave them Narcan and they don't want to go to the hospital. But they're in a bad mood because we just gave them an opioid medicine reversal agent. So they breathe and they're alive, but they're in withdrawal. So they feel just terrible. And a lot of times they don't want to go to the hospital. They've been there before. There's a lot of bias in our system. We have good people who work there, but sometimes some of them haven't been treated well in the past. So they just stay home and stay with their friends. And if you stay with people who use, then you'll keep using. So what we're focusing on is the people who get Narcan from somebody, or it could be from us too, because we do carry it. If somebody wakes up and they're in that state, we want to engage them and say, hey, what if we can give you something we put in your mouth? It dissolves in 3-4 minutes, like a lot of medicines do these days. And within 10 or 15 minutes, you won't be in alcohol withdrawal.
Oh, interesting.
Like, Then we get a set of vital signs and whatnot. And if they agree, and the thing has basically no side effects, and then we talk to them again in 15 minutes. And in 95% of cases, this is nationwide, these people are all of a sudden not in withdrawal. Okay, now how would you like to talk about not running from addiction, which is what 90% of addicts are doing? They're running from withdrawal. not addiction. So what we want to do is be able to engage them and then work with the case management at the hospital and our mobile integrated health team to have somebody come back and check in on them. But here's why this drug is really, really cool. That's like your favorite word is cool. This is super cool because it is a narcotic, but it displaces narcotics that are on receptors and it stays there for 48 hours.
Okay, so explain that a little bit more for me.
So if you take heroin, or fentanyl, it just grasps on these receptors in your nervous system, okay?
Okay.
And Narcan takes them off. But when it takes them off, then all of a sudden your body goes wacko and you get pain, itching, nausea, vomiting, irritability. I mean, you're in narcotic withdrawal, and it's awful. So we can reverse that in 15 minutes with an oral agent with no needle. It doesn't taste bad. And they're basically protected for the next 48 hours if they use. And then during that interval, our goal is to use mobile integrated health, case management, and our addiction partners at Search to try and plug people into therapy.
Into recovery, yeah.
Right. So, or into therapy and recovery.
Therapy and recovery.
So here's some numbers if one person wakes up with Narcan, their chance of dying in the next 48 hours is 4%.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So that's pretty huge. But the other number is if you have 100 people who wake up with Narcan, 25 of them will be dead in a year if they're not in treatment. These are huge numbers. Mm-hmm. And so now we have tools that don't involve shame that we can engage people who are someone's mother, father, brother, sister,
right,
and get them into treatment and get them back rolling. And the nationwide data has shown that if they don't do anything, 5 to 6% of them will be in some kind of therapy or treatment in a year. If we do this, that number goes up to 25%. So if you get sent away to one of those $30,000 programs down south where you're in boot camp for 6 weeks or whatever they do to you, the success rate at a year is 17 to 20. And that's super expensive and you're sent out of state. Mm-hmm. And we now have really good resources in Juneau, especially the Search people have several addiction experts over there, including some people down at Front Street. So we want to capture these folks, many of whom are middle-class people. You'd be surprised how many people are using this stuff. It is not just people sitting on the street.
Well, we've had JPD on, and we know that fentanyl is a huge issue here in Juneau.
Right. Well, and fentanyl has changed things because with heroin, people used to shoot it with, but fentanyl, the Chinese in their wisdom, working with the bad guys in South America, figured out how to make a way to have it oral, so you can just take a pill. But the thing is, you don't know what's in it. There's a lot of dirty drugs out there.
So where did this? Say it for me again.
Buprenorphine.
Buprenorphine.
Yeah.
How did this come about, and is this a newer thing?
We started doing this in the ER, and it was very controversial during COVID, partly to keep people out and partly just to engage them. And the very first time I gave this stuff to somebody in the ER, one of the nurses, you're just enabling them because we have a bias against people with some of these, addiction orders. And 15 minutes later, this guy was smiling and happy and chirpy, and she's like, holy, what is that stuff? Because she didn't even know what it was, and she's a really good human. It just, she's, in that day, was burnt out on dealing with the revolving door of some of these folks. So if you can engage them and get them in treatment, and treatment could be full abstinence, it could be being on long-term agents. This stuff is used for long-term therapy. And so Search they have a clinic where there are all kinds of options that they have to get people treated for these addictions and get them engaged in life, to work, to pay taxes, et cetera.
So how did buprenorphine not become the leading thing as opposed to Narcan, let's say?
Well, because it doesn't reverse like Narcan. Narcan's a breathing drug. So when you get too much opiates, too many opiate receptors in your nervous system covered, you stop breathing, and then you have a cardiac arrest subsequently. That's the order of business. So it's a breathing medication, and this wouldn't do that. So
I see.
Narcan, naloxone is a reversal agent. This is a treat withdrawal agent.
Ah, I see. Okay. So it's It seems to be the fact that it protects against OD for the next 24 to 36 hours. You're all hoping that gives you that window, right?
To engage with them.
Yeah.
And our community health team, they know a lot of these folks. They know they live in cars. They know they're homeless. They know they live under a bridge. They'll go to them, and just with no shame, no blame. Hey, can we help you? We're willing to deliver this stuff every 36 to 48 hours for 2 or 3 doses until they can get engaged with the walk-in people at Search or get an appointment with an addiction doctor.
I see. So is CCFR going to be? Is this a new program that they're instituting?
This is a new drug that is going to be released to our medics in the next couple of weeks. It's not out there yet, and we're wanting to do is let people know what we're up to, because this includes people who might be listening who have siblings or parents who use and who want them to stop, and then to know that there are resources in this community, including our MIH program. They just call the fire department downtown and ask how to get in touch with them.
Yeah, so you can call the fire department. And is this going to be something that, a lot of people, at least from what I know, I'm not an expert, of course, and I don't know how this works, but some people have Narcan at the ready, right?
That's correct. They do, which is great. We have it. That saves lives. But it doesn't stop people from using. It just saves their life that day.
Right.
But the people who take too much are in a much higher risk category than the average users.
Is this Buprenorphine? Thank you. Is this going to be something BP? We got to call it something shorter. We need to come up with a nickname.
That's fine with me. Well, we call it Bupe.
Bupe. Okay.
Yeah.
So is this something that folks who might be able to have Narcan on hand could also have this on hand, or is this something that has to be
this is a
done through
prescription drug.
Okay.
And that would not be appropriate.
Okay.
I don't think. I mean, on the other hand, some of the people who thought this was a bad idea said, well, they might just sell it to their friends, who then won't be withdrawing. And you know what the addiction experts say? Fine.
Yeah.
Let them have it. It'll keep them alive.
Interesting.
And it'll keep them from potentially using. And we're not just doing this de novo. I mean, I was at a conference of the National Association of EMS Physicians in San Diego a year ago, and I went to a whole afternoon, 3 different presentations on this. There are about 200 fire departments in the country doing this. So this is not new. We're just bringing a standard of care to Juneau.
I see. Okay. So this is going to be something that is rolling out over the next...
We hope to roll it out. We're trying to roll it out before Christmas. There's a couple little parts we have to get together. We're scheduling time with each of the individual shifts. We had a paramedic refresher 2 weeks ago, and where we talked about this at length with the medics who are leaders of their teams.
Yeah.
So, but we want to make sure we have our ducks in the row before we pull the trigger.
Sure, absolutely. Well, this seems like something fantastic for the community, and hopefully can help those in need. So if you are listening and you know somebody who might, or yourself, you might be in trouble, this is an option, right, as a way to...
It's also an option that they can walk into the Search, it's called the OTP clinic. It's open every day. I don't know the hours.
Yeah.
But you can walk in and see a provider without an appointment. Now, so someone ahead of you, you might not get in.
Right.
So I can't speak for them, but it does exist here. So that resource is out there, too, for people listening who have someone who's using, who don't want to wait for that time when they took too much.
Right. But this is something that people can know about, can ask about, ask the CCFR if they are dealing with somebody who has addiction.
Well, yeah, or it would be the mobile integrated health people. And,
right.
And they're talking with the Search people right now. So if there's a doctor, there's a long-acting form of this stuff that lasts a month. But it costs $2,000, so we can't afford to carry that. It's not in our ballywhack to do that.
Yeah.
But if a Search doctor prescribes it, we can deliver it. Like our guys can go give the shot. Not the paramedics you call for 911, but the mobile integrated health people.
Mobile integrated health unit,
right.
And you can probably put that into your favorite search engine, mobile integrated health unit, Juneau, and find information. Or is there a
CCFR
website?
website has information about it. Yeah.
Okay, best is to go to CCFR website. Dr. Peterson Quigley, thank you so much for sharing this information. I'd love to have you and the folks from CCFR back again when this is in play and see what maybe some of the results are.
Yeah, well, once we roll it out, then we can give a better perspective of how it's working and what our barriers are and what our successes are. It'd be fabulous.
That'd be great. Thank you so much for coming in
Gunnar
today. Gunnar Chish for being here. I really, really appreciate it. This is Juneau Afternoon on KTOO. Up next, we'll talk about holiday jazz and classics happening tomorrow night at the Crystal Saloon.
Hanson Gress, Ka eat with the shuyi, we kashuk ayitin. Jin kat ka ke jin tak anakaya ha anikak, gunnish cheesh.
This is Juneau Afternoon from your listener-supported public media station, KTOO. I am your host, Boston Christopher. That right there is a track called Night and Day. It's from an album called For Murray and Lillian. It features Eddie Barbash and Kyle Fade. And if you like the sound of that, well, you're going to want to get yourself down to the Crystal Saloon tomorrow night. It's the holidays are here, and at the Crystal tomorrow you can hear some magical tunes with holiday jazz and classics featuring Kyle Fade, Eddie Barbash, plus Taylor Dallas Vidic, Franz Felkel, and more. Who we have a full bevy of folks in with us today. It's all a benefit for the upcoming 3rd annual Juneau Jazz Fest happening later. Is it later this winter, Michael? Is that when it's happening? Is it February?
Jazz Fest, will be February 4th through 7th.
February 4th through the 7th. And so this concert is going to be featured as a benefit for that festival. So let's start with you, Michael, because I know you got to jet out of here real quick. So tell me a little. This is going to be the third Juneau Jazz Fest. So how did Juneau Jazz Fest come?
I'm a teacher and a number of times I would bring my jazz bands down to the Sitka Jazz Festival. And Bob Athade was the remarkable teacher that would come as a guest clinician there. I was so impressed with that. Then Kyle started bringing his band and friends and blew my mind. And then when the Sitka Jazz Festival ended 4 years ago, after a 25-year run, I think, Brian Van Kirk and myself and Sandy Fortier realized we really wanted to keep this going for the young people and for the community. And so Kyle was all over it, huge amount of work and support to bring what had been the Sitka Jazz Festival to Juneau. And so it's a collaboration between Juneau Jazz and Classics and the Juneau School District.
Okay.
So schools from right now around Southeast, but we're hoping to get more from around the state in years to come. Great experience for the community, for kids, and for the local musicians.
And is there a website for the group? Can you put that out there?
There is, yeah. It's Juneau Jazz and Classics Jazz Fest, and I don't have it off the tip of my tongue.
Oh, is it on the main Juneau Jazz and Classics
it
website?
Is.
Okay,
It
so you
is.
can go to Juneau Jazz and Classics.
And then click on Jazz Fest.
And then you can find the Jazz Fest link, because it's a collaboration, right?
It is,
So that's
exactly.
kind of cool. That's awesome. And so this is going to be the third annual version of that, which is just fantastic. And I love that it involves kids, right? I love that it involves kids. And I think, Kyle, when you were here for this, I think that's the last time you were here, was for the second annual Juneau Jazz Fest, right? Was that when you were here?
Yep, this last
'Cause
February.
I remember we had Eddie in here, we had the whole band, we had drums. It was like the biggest group we've ever had in the studio. And I was
Right.
like, is this going to work? And it did. It was so great to have you all in here, because I know that your work involves obviously playing the music, but also education, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We were actually just over at Juneau Douglas this morning working with the students in their jazz band.
I love that. See, that's so fantastic. And Papa Athade, Bob.
Yes.
I like to call him Papa. I don't know why,
You
but
can't just, call me whatever you want.
it's all good. So you've been going to Sitka for years, is that right?
I was going to the Fine Arts Camp from 2001 till 2016 and the Jazz Festival from 2002 until it ended. And
I see.
Mike Busey actually was at our home in the summer, and he and Kyle started talking about this, and I think they got real serious in November, and in February they pulled off the first Juneau Jazz Festival. Very incredible.
Awesome. That's so cool. So that's great. So, Michael, I know you have to take off, but I just wanted to say, is there anything else you wanted to say specifically about the Juneau Jazz Fest?
Come to the Juneau Jazz Fest. It's fantastic. Kyle's going to be bringing his band. Martina De Silva and Jacob Mann are going to be there playing. I look at the Jazz Fest as a three-legged stool, as it's about students, and that's in spades. I've just seen the impact that especially Bob and Kyle and it's also about the community, world-class performances of jazz, and then it's also about the local musicians, getting them involved. And so we start off Jazz Fest with the Jazz Ramble, with local bands playing downtown at clubs, and we hope everybody will come out for that. That'll be Wednesday night, February 4th. But we appreciate all the businesses that have been supporting the Jazz Fest. Multiple businesses and individuals have donated, and no offense, it just takes. And then
I'm in public radio. I don't know anything about that.
yeah. We don't have federal funding either. But anyways, we'll be soliciting for donations, and we really appreciate all the donors who have been giving. And by the way, tomorrow night's concert is sponsored by a very generous gift by Tracy's Crab Shack.
Okay, excellent. That's great.
Tracy
And
LaBarge, yeah.
of course, we'll probably have you back on the show later at the end of January to talk about Juneau Jazz Fest happening. Well, let me introduce everybody else that's in the room today. Michael, thank you so much for being here. So we heard a little bit there from Kyle Athade. He's been on the show a couple times. Kyle Athade Dance Party has been in Juneau over the last couple of years, a few times. And also, we're going to cheese for being here, Kyle. Really appreciate seeing you again.
Of course, always happy to be here.
And then Bob Athade, or Papa as we like to call him, you can just shout that out tomorrow night at the concert and be like, "Hi, Papa," you know.
Okay,
It's all good.
I'll leave it. But you got it. But when you shout it out, have $100
Yeah.
bill in your hand. There you go.
That's right. That's right.
And then you can even come up and play on the piano with me.
Oh, there you go. There
Okay?
you go.
Oh no, that's for real.
Yeah. Oh, that would be good.
You
okay.
got some money? You get to come play the piano with me.
Awesome. Okay, that's great. And I think that's fantastic. I'm sure there's somebody in Juneau who's going to take you up on that, if I know my Juneauites. And then I also have Kyle, your sister is here as well, Eliana, right?
Yes.
And you play as well.
Yes, I play the bass.
You play the bass, the stand-up bass?
Yes, and the electric, but
And the
I
electric.
will be playing stand-up bass tomorrow night.
You know, now here's what I say every time I have a bass player on the show. Because to me, I always thought bass players were the coolest one in the band.
That's right.
I see you disagree with me, right? Instantly. I just don't know why, but they are always the coolest people in the band.
Well, and they can meet her tomorrow night. And she got off the road on tour with a group called Waxahachie that she used to play with. And they were opening for Sheryl Crow, who Ellie is already friends with. And she was opening for Willie Nelson and Bob
Friends
Dylan.
is a strong word, but I did see Bruce
Let me pick those
Springsteen
names up
give
off
her
the
a hug.
floor.
Yeah.
So, there you go.
I love that. Papa Thade with the glow up for you, right? I mean, come on, let's
Thanks.
go. And Eliana, how long have you been playing the bass?
I've been playing the bass for, since I was 11, and I'm 30. I'm about to be 35. I keep on wanting to say for, 10 years, but it's a lot more than that.
Those years are ticking by. I totally understand that. And then also in the room, I have the one and only, the fantastic, the wonderful Taylor Dallas Vidic. Gonna cheese for being here. Grab that mic in there.
Grabbed.
Grabbed. Gonna cheese. How are you?
I'm so excited for this week and tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you just got back from Anchorage as well, right? You were doing some concerts up there?
Yeah, I did some holiday jazz up there and excited to be in Juneau doing holiday jazz at home this week.
That's fantastic. That's going to be so cool. So, yeah, let's talk about tomorrow. There's two shows. One's already sold out. These are at the Crystal Saloon. You can go to thecrystalsaloon.com, I believe, their website, and you can get tickets and all information for the show times. You added a show because the first one sold out so quickly, which is pretty cool. Is that right, Kyle?
Right. So the first show was the only one we were planning on doing, and we've got the string quartet and Taylor and everything. It was the whole big production. And then it sold out so quickly we thought, we have a lot of people who want to get there and hear something, so we're going to make a second show. And it actually works out really nicely because the first show, having the string quartet, is sort of the classics side of jazz and classics, and then the second show being the later set where it's the jazz group by itself is the jazz side.
Well, I mean, jazz is all about sort of improv anyway, a little bit, right? I mean,
that's right.
I mean, so just saying, hey, let's add a show, and we're just gonna jam, right? And some world-class musicians having some fun at the Crystal Saloon sounds like a pretty good time.
Yeah.
So what can we? So to go back though, tell me what we can expect. You're talking string quartet in the first show.
Right. So Eddie Barbash, our guest saxophonist, loves all sorts of beautiful orchestrated music, and he especially loves the old crooners who he sang with these full orchestras. So he came up with this concept for a group that was a jazz quartet of saxophone, guitar, bass, drums, mixed with a string quartet, 2 violins, viola, and cello.
Ooh.
So we're taking the music for that group, and we're exchanging the guitar for the Papa Thade piano, and we're going to play that music. I write all the arrangements for it.
Okay.
And it draws on all these different influences of mariachi music, crooners, classical music, Fats Domino, jazz, opera, any number of things. Eddie's into it. And, of course, a little bit of holiday music. And the second set is going to be the jazz portion of the group without the strings because the string players have to get to bed to teach in the morning. But we're going to have guests throughout the night. Taylor's going to be singing a bunch of songs. We just had a rehearsal today, and it was super fun. And we have some other guests who I think it's safe to announce that Ed Littlefield is going to be sitting
Ed's
in.
in town, too?
Yeah. Ed
awesome.
is in town.
We love that.
So we're going to have Ed do a little bit with the string group as well as we have a lot of people planned to.
Even it's all going to support Juneau Jazz Fest coming up in February, which is pretty cool. So what kind of what am I trying to ask here? I guess it's the idea of like holiday tunes, right? You said there'll be a couple holiday tunes. And are those already jazzy, or do you have to like arrange them to make them a little bit more jazzy and fit with the players that you have?
It varies. So, for example, with the strings, I have 2 songs that I'm arranging. One of them is "Oh Holy Night," which is not typically a jazz song.
Mm-hmm.
So then I had to come up with ideas of how to implement the rhythm section and make it have a groove to it. But then the other one is actually a really beautiful, obscure song that Judy Garland sang called "Merry Christmas." And not to be confused with "Have Yourself a Merry Christmas." This one is originally just Judy Garland with strings and a keyboard. So then I'm doing a little bit of a transcription of that and a little bit of adding the rhythm section to do more jazz stuff. So different Christmas songs have different applications. Most of what we're doing with Taylor are songs that are typically played in a jazz setting, although there are a couple where she's got some pretty inventive arrangements on how to sneak them into the jazz format.
I love that. And Taylor, what's the experience been like to work with the Athades, I guess we'll say, in terms of, the rehearsals you've had so far because it's really nice when you get to cross-pollinate and work with folks who don't necessarily live here. And then so it kind of adds to the experience a little bit.
Yeah, and there's such a shared language in jazz. So we just had the one rehearsal earlier today, and tomorrow night we're going to do it on stage, which sounds kind of nutso, but that's also just how it works because you can describe the intro and the ending that you want. And I kept listing off songs and keys, and everyone just started playing the songs in those keys because they're just up in their brains somewhere, which is what's nuts about instrumentalists. So it was super cool today to just list off songs and keys and say go, and we made some music about it.
So what are we going to be hearing from you tomorrow?
Mostly classics.
Okay.
With, we got to do a little Grinch in there too. Keep it spicy. Some Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas.
Yeah.
We taught Papa Thade a new Christmas song today. And if you want to find out what it is, I'd say buy a ticket to the sold-out show, but it's sold out. So maybe come to the late show, and we'll do a reprise. We'll see what happens.
And shout with the $100 in
with
hand.
the $100 bill.
Yeah, right? I mean, there you go.
Get out another 100, and who knows what could happen.
Yeah, who knows what can happen. Because, again, it is a benefit. I just want to make that clear. It is a benefit. But it's also really nice that you all are taking the time to come to Alaska at the holidays. And where are you all? Are you all live in the same place now, or do you all in different places? Where do you all live?
So Papa and Kyle Athade live in the San Francisco Bay Area.
Okay.
And Ellie.
I live in Los Angeles, but I would really like to live in Southeast Alaska. I love it here. I love you people.
I have a second for you to live here.
Yeah. Well, we welcome you in already. You're more than welcome.
Thank you.
It's so great. So, Bob, I want to ask you, when you have 2 fascinating, talented children here.
I got 2 more.
And you have 2 more. And are they also musicians?
Yeah. The oldest is the concertmaster of the Rochester Philharmonic in New York, and she teaches at the Eastman School of Music, violinist. And the second one's a cellist, but she does something else for a living. So all 4 are musicians.
So did you consciously think about that as you were raising your children? I mean, were you playing music for them at the beginning?
No. Well, so what happened was my wife's a violinist and a pianist, and she taught violin. So people came over for violin lessons, or they came for me for trumpet lessons and jazz piano. So the kids went, well, I'm going to do this or that or the other. And they all started on violin, and then they all went off to other instruments. So they play multiple instruments, but you will find Ellie most of the time on bass and Kyle most of the time on vibraphone, piano, drums, a bunch of stuff. And so anyway, it was it's nurture and nature, right? So the nurture is what's in the environment at home, and the nature is just what's in them. And so they're all very good musicians, but they all have kind of different specialties in a way.
That's so fascinating. And I'm just curious, before we let you all go, when you were kids, Ellie and Kyle, did you reject the music at first because your parents were both, teaching and stuff? And you're like, I want to do something different. I don't want to play the violin, how some kids do. And then you came around, or what was your story? Ellie, we'll start with you.
Okay, thank you so much for asking, because, yes, I'm a horse girl. I'm a proud horse person. My whole childhood, I'm the youngest of the family, so I was like, no way. This
rejection.
I did it, but I was very like, I'm gonna be a vet or something.
Right.
And then around 8th grade, I remember going to see my brother play in the Grammy band. You were in high school, and I just remember seeing him like with all his friends playing music, and I was kind of like, oh, I guess this is sort of cool. I must have been in 7th or 8th grade, so at that point I gave in, and Kyle can tell his own story, but I'll just say for a long time we all thought there was no hope for this young man, and it was okay. He just wasn't very good at music, and there was nothing wrong with that, and maybe he'd do something else, and like, poor little guy, you'll be fine. And now we're like, we don't understand how his brain works. He's on such a different level. So
that's a nice compliment from your sister, I guess.
Yeah, well, when I was 4, I started violin, and we all started violin and piano when we were very young. So I did a couple years of violin and a couple years of piano, but didn't practice either of them very much and didn't like them that much. So I mostly just liked playing video games, and I was really into that. But it wasn't until I started playing trumpet in elementary school band that I got really excited about it. We were doing some jazz, and then going to Stanley Middle School where our dad taught was the really big impetus for me to get really into music. But our whole lives, we always had, as my dad was saying, friends and family and students of our parents who were coming in and making music in the house. And there was music playing all the time. I remember the tapes that we would listen to in the car or at home. So we had it around us all the time. It was very easy to develop musical skill because we had developed our ears from such a young age, and that's often the hardest thing for people, is to figure out how to connect what they're hearing with what they're trying to play.
I see. Okay. Well, that's so cool. Well, you can hear more of this music tomorrow night. It is holiday jazz and classics. It's featuring Kyle Athade, Eddie Barbash, more Athades, the more Athades than you can handle. Plus, we have some local talent in there. Taylor Dallas Vidic, Franz Felko will be there, and more. It's all in support of the 3rd annual Juneau Jazz Fest happening later this winter in February. For more information, you can go to juneaujazzandclassics.org. You can also find out more about Kyle Athade at kyleathadedanceparty.com, I believe, right?
Yep.
Okay. And is there anywhere we follow you two? Are you guys on Instagram? Where do you?
Lafayette Summer Music Workshop is what I run in the summer, and Kyle's the curriculum director.
Excellent.
And Ellie, I don't know, where did we find you?
Southeast Alaska, apparently.
Hopefully, yes. And I guess I'm on the internet, like all of us.
You're on the internet.
My super inventive Instagram handle is just Eliana Bassist. So
I love it. Thank you so much, Taylor. Thank you so much, Ellie. Thank you so much, Kyle, Bob, Papa, as we like to say. I really appreciate you all being here on Juneau Afternoon. It was fantastic. Gonna cheese and break a leg tomorrow.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, absolutely. This is Juneau Afternoon on KTOO. Here's a little bit more of Eddie and Kyle. Support for Juneau Afternoon comes from Heritage Coffee Roasting Company, providing Juneau with locally roasted coffee for over 40 years, with cafes and drive-through locations throughout Juneau. More at heritagecoffee.com. You are listening to Juneau Afternoon from Studio 2K at KTOO, dedicated to Carolyn Hobbs Peterson. I'm your host, Boston Christopher. You can also join us on our live stream on KTOO's YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram pages. The warmth of the holidays is here, even as these temperatures dip into the negative. They're going to dip into the negative. It's a perfect time to give back, and St. Vincent de Paul's Adopt a Family program is one way you can do that this holiday season. I am joined in the studio now to talk about that and some other stuff, and like extended thrift store hours for the holiday season, I guess.
Yes.
Which is going to be coming on. But I have Jennifer Skinner, Executive Director of St. Vincent de Paul. Gunachish Wasiti, how are you?
Good. Thank you for having us.
I'm so happy that you're here. And then I have, I guess, new Deputy Director Molly
right.
Carr is in the house as well. Gunachish Molly, how are you?
Thank you for having me.
Of course. Congratulations on the position.
Thank you. Very excited.
So let's talk about that for a second. How did you end up? How did you end up working in this position as the Deputy Director? What brought you to St. Vincent de Paul?
The love for the community and what their mission is. I've been working with St. Vincent de Paul for approximately 3.5 years in a navigator's position.
Okay.
Helping individuals find stable housing.
I love that. Jennifer, hiring from within.
Yeah.
I love it. That's so cool. So you'd already been working there
Part-time.
as a navigator, which I know is one of the positions that helps folks figure out where to go next and all that kind of stuff. And then did Jennifer just like fishing reel you and be like, "Hey, Molly, I've got this potential position. What do you think?"
She pretty much did.
Yeah. That said, "Hey, I want her as the deputy director."
Oh, she has so many endearing qualities. Her work ethic, her care for the folks that we support, her ability to problem solve and collaborate with other agencies, and her understanding of the populations that we work with and how to resource connect. I mean, there's just so many wonderful abilities that Molly has. And so I feel like the sky's the limit as our little dynamic duo over here. So I'm really excited to see what we can do to bring wellness and housing and all the needs to our community, meet all those needs.
So how long have you been in this position, Molly?
2 months.
2 months. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
So, Jennifer, I wanted to ask you because, it is cold outside. This is unbelievably cold and windy. And how's that affecting the folks that you help?
It's cold, and no one wants to go anywhere, including us, right? I mean, I'd just much rather be on my couch with a book and a blanket. So, we recognize that, getting up and leaving, like at the warming shelter super early in the morning, it's not ideal. So, we've worked hard to manage this last cold snap and have 24-hour coverage, but it's not a sustainable program in that respect. The evening coverage is covered, but we have staff that need breaks, and so we don't bump up staffing. It's just folks like Molly and myself who would go in, and some with the help of many wonderful volunteers who signed up throughout the community. We had people from Search and other nonprofit agencies step in and help us cover those shifts, but in collaboration, we were able to meet with the Glory Hall, and the Glory Hall had some extra work done in their building and felt like they could reopen day services, and so they're doing a fantastic job serving the folks that we all work with during the day so that we can support them in the evening.
I see. Okay.
It takes a village, quite literally, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I can't even imagine to be stuck outside. So the warming shelters and the work that you do is so valuable and important to our community. So let's talk a little bit about Adopt a Family. This is an interesting program, a really cool program that people can get involved with. And tell me a little bit about it. Who's going to tell me? Is it you, Molly?
I think the program began probably in the late 90s here in Juneau, and we continue to serve families every year. We had about 100 families sign up, which entailed 260 children. Currently, we have about 65 families adopted, which equated to about 167 children. We still have 35 families that need to be adopted, which is about 93 children. So,
And what would you do if I want to adopt a family? What does that mean?
So that means you get a hold of our executive volunteer, and you can reach him through info@svdpjuneau.org, or you can call our office at 907-789-5535. Inquire within. But basically, you come to our campus on Teal Street, and you can review a few of our applicants for adoptable families that are still available. Make your selection, and then you go buy all the fun gifts. That's the best part, right? Playing that role and going and getting all the goodies, and then we prefer that they come wrapped, but we do have wrapping services if wrapping is a little bit too much for someone and like just not the area they want to focus on. That's absolutely okay. You can bring them wrapped or unwrapped to our community room, and it's a winter wonderland inside, so it's extra special. So when the families do come to pick up their presents, it adds that extra layer of holiday and joy and cheer. It is completely decked out inside, so it's really a fun event for everyone.
That's special. And so do the families and the children, do they make like a little wish list? And that's part of what you're looking at is like, so you can choose like what your level of comfort might be in terms of what you can afford to help adopt a family. You're basically saying, hey, I can help out at this level. Let me find a family that fits that. And then you're going, and it's sort of like, it's reminding me of, when you used to, I'm sure there's still places that do this, where there's, a bin and you throw a toy in there, right? You wrap a toy in there while you're shopping. But this is a little bit more direct. You actually get to sort of see the impact a little bit. You feel the impact. You don't necessarily meet the family, but you get to know that the child that you saw in the application is getting whatever they wished for that holiday.
Right. It's the ability to make a wish come true, right? And so it's really a beautiful process all the way around for the giver and the receiver. We often see the larger families are the ones that don't get adopted because that's a pretty big financial commitment. We do everything within our power to meet those needs, even if that means tapping into some of our aid reserves to do so, we will. We also have some community partners this year doing a game drive for us. So shout out to Flying Squirrel for raising awareness and bringing that Christmas joy to their customers and giving them the chance to give back as well. They are collecting board games for us, and we'll be turning them in. And so we kind of piece it together if we have some remaining families that go without. We never let anyone go without is basically the point.
Right. Nobody goes unadopted necessarily.
Yeah, basically. Right? Yeah, we'll do everything within our power to meet those needs.
But there's 35 families that are still needing adoption. Yeah. And of course, you can call 789-5535. And you're asking for, who are you asking for when you call? Is anybody can direct you to the area? You can just say, hey, I'm wanting to adopt a family.
Yeah, how do I adopt a family? And they will get them connected with the right person.
Or shoot an email over, although email, it's Christmas is like a week away.
Yeah,
it's coming pretty soon. info@svdpjuneau.org.
Correct. And we have some, our community center hours are extended due to the holiday and pickups and all of that. So that's kind of important information. So we are open Monday through Friday right now, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Saturday will be 10 to 7 p.m., 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. And Sunday we'll be there 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. And then this Friday we'll be staying open until 8 because that's when a lot of families like to drop off their gifts is this Friday.
This Friday?
Yeah.
Okay, great. That's excellent. And then before we run out of time, I want to make sure we talk about the extended thrift store hours. Of course, we all know, many people are donating to the thrift store Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, right? And probably donating a lot this time of year. But you can also shop there for things that you might want to get for your family. And so you're staying open longer, or tell me the hours of what you're doing for that.
We're open Tuesday through Saturday, 11 to 6 p.m.
Okay.
And we will be closed on Christmas Eve this year.
Okay.
So
The whole
family-
day?
The whole day.
The whole
Okay.
day,
Okay.
so that staff can go home and enjoy their family as well.
Yeah.
But yes, Tuesday 11 to 6, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Excellent. So you can get out and get your shopping in there. There's actually something I need to come and get there because I saw it. My partner she saw it in the store, and I said, "Don't get it. I don't need it." And then I really need it, so I need to get over there
You better hurry up.
before somebody grabs it.
And that's not just for the holiday season, just so we're clear, we are keeping those hours.
Oh, you're keeping
Yeah.
those hours.
Yeah.
Okay, so this
So-
is not just for now. This
Nope.
is you opening the store a little bit more.
Yeah, our busiest time of the day is the evening, and we wanted to meet the community's needs by staying open a little bit later and giving
Yeah.
people the opportunity to get their shopping needs met.
That's so fantastic. Well, Molly, congratulations.
Thank you very
I
much.
look forward to having you on the program much more to talk about other future programs that are coming up. It's been great to have Jennifer on here a few times already in your new role because you've been doing it for like
6 months.
5-6
yeah.
months now.
Yeah.
So all new world over there at
Yeah.
St. Vincent de Paul's.
We're just shaking it up like a snow globe.
I love that. You can find them at svdpjuneau.org and go adopt a family this holiday season.
Please. Thank
Yes.
you.
Gwyneth Cheesh, I really appreciate you being here.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
That will do it for today's Juneau Afternoon. Don't forget that this Friday is our special holiday episode with you in the audience. Friday at 3 o'clock, come down for some cool, awesome performances. Arrive by 2:45. That's it for Juneau Afternoon. Gwyneth Cheesh, I'm Boston Christopher. Have a wonderful and warm Wednesday Juneau evening.